So yeah, this is just another video. It's sort of like an addendum to the one I've just made previously about Kay's Thought Palace video on elaborate masking, um, and it's with regards to something that I've heard discussed about interviews, job interviews. Really, they are a nightmare. For one thing, we have to psych ourselves up and be this, extra larger than life person, especially like in the current job market, um, and things like writing CVs as well. The issue is that what what we tend to do is mimic. That's part of the mask. You see, we mimic other people's behaviour or see how people behave, and then copy that. I do that. What I will do is I'm very good in terms of something that's already been designed or done, and then modifying that and changing it and making it better. But in terms of like original thought, in terms of like concrete things in the real world, not something that's in my head, that can be a real struggle if I don't actually have something to work from. Um, and so things like getting jobs, it's an absolute nightmare, um, and actually keeping them as well, because we don't necessarily have the original thought. We need like a framework to work within, and sometimes with jobs it doesn't work out that way. It's like you have to, do the jig. Um, so yeah, that was just like another. It's like I said, it's just an addendum really, to that particular issue. Throughout my life, I found it very difficult. I mean, one of my saving graces is that I've got very extended vocabulary. Um, but again, I wonder myself exactly how much that is me, or it's just like learnt behaviour. I mean, because my mother was, she went to grammar school, and then she went on to do her PhD. So um, obviously, in those formative years, I would have got, I would have been exposed to all of this language. So I don't know exactly how much of it is me. What is my propensity to actually, use the words. But that's actually helped me through life, particularly like when I was in school, because I think I garnered more interest from the teachers. I certainly got good reports academically as I went through school, although socially it was atrocious. But I think the academic pull through was by virtue of my command of the language. But again, that was hampered. I was a grade C student really, and in anything but English. And I think that's basically because, again, I was mimicking, so I actually needed material to work from. If I didn't actually receive the material, um, I just couldn't really do anything myself. It was a case of, well, what do you want me to do? And I'm very much like that now. It's a case of I'm a what do you want type of person. Um, So, like for example, in a previous incarnation, I found counselling very good. It was very good for me to do that because a counsellor essentially, a lot of the time they need to listen. They need to be a good listener, and somebody who is wanting to impose their ideas or opinions on somebody is not necessarily the best person to counsel to be a counsellor because. Um, a lot of the times people, they just want they want something to listen, a listening ear. Um, so I was very useful at that. And today I always say I know what, like for example, a manager does, but I'm not a manager. I'm a support person. So I support people in doing what they need to do. If there was a situation where a gap needed to be filled temporarily, I would be able to do it because I'd still be in a support position. I wouldn't be the main person. So, I do know what people do in various organisations and what goes on in society, because structures is my thing. Um, but I only fill gaps where I'm absolutely needed. Not to actually take charge or anything like that. I don't do that. I don't function like that very well. And even in those positions, I tend to be democratic. So I'll say, well, what do you think? So again, I'm eliciting information from people. So, to form some sort of framework, I don't do that myself.